Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Another tips and tricks. I haven't done them in a while and I've actually never done Dust 2 since it was reintroduced, so let's focus mainly on Dust 2, but only in the first half of the video. Second half of the video is going to kind of be all over the place. I'm gonna load up, I think, Vertigo, Ancient and some other maps as well with some little nerdy tricks there. But let's talk about Dust 2. And with the Dust 2 it's a little bit weird because it doesn't get too many updates. The gameplay is kind of stale from year to year, and only recently we've received this huge update that you can kind of like self-boost yourself to short, which is pretty big change, but other than that not much is happening. So it's kind of hard to create something here that not a lot of you already know or seen, but I will try my best. We start with a couple of stuff for CD side and we'll move over to T side, and the main thing I want to talk about is long. There's a couple of things I actually want to talk about during long and the spawns in general, but let's talk with a simple one, and that is the long house smoke. This is something that you've seen pro players do all the time. Smoke like this, they're just gonna jump through it, and by the time it lands, it will help your teammates to take long because T's will be stuck behind the smoke, or they will have to go through but they cannot go back, or they cannot receive any help, right? So this is what you see pro players throw. However, there's a better version. As you can see down in the chat on the left, the smoke traveled for almost 6 seconds. There is a faster and better way to do it, and that would be come to the elevator again, and you see this dot right here, and you just aim a little bit right of it and you W jump throw this smoke. So the first one was just a normal jump throw, this one is W jump throw. It bounces like this, it stays on top of the boxes, invisible ledges there, and it spreads nicely all the way to the top so no one can boost over it, and it's almost 1 second faster. So it's 4.8 seconds, it's more than 1 second faster actually. And there's also, I saw Zybu throwing this smoke that is like lining it up, but I generally don't think this is that great because it takes too much time and effort to throw it properly. So this one is super easy. You come here, W jump throw, and it pops really fast. So I don't know the instant lineup spawns. It's doable because there's only 5 of them on CT, and generally if you're first guy you don't really need to throw this kind of a smoke. So probably you need to know lineups from this and that spawn, maybe even this one. However, I will leave the set angle in the description under the video and you can find it yourself because I couldn't find any reference points where to do it. So just for the reference, it's like this, set ang, I mean get post, I'm sorry. And we have set ang here, which I will copy down in the description below if it lets me. And now we can go to like spawn 3, and this angle, like I don't have anything to line it up with. Like obviously it's on this line, so that's great, but verticality, like it kind of comes into play. Maybe you can line it up with a big crosshair like this. You can, I will let you do that because I couldn't be bothered, and really it could be even faster than what I showed. So instead of lining it up, you already line it up in the spawn, and then you just come into the corner and throw it. And by this timing, it should be very easy. I actually failed this one, so as you see, like it's kind of harder to do it, but here 4.8 seconds should be good. Another tip I want to mention is actually for the first spawn. That is usually the player that is going to be fighting for long or taking long, and again this is like 2 tips in one, so I will try my best. So if you ever spawn in this position and you are requested to take long, this is extremely niche, but I'm gonna mention it because this is going to improve you. I see a lot of players that if they're going long, like they're leaving the spawn and they like bump into this corner, they go long here, they bump maybe into this one, and then they're gonna come here, and then they're just probably trying to molly or something like that, or nade. Okay, but there's actually really easy way to exit the spawn the like flawless way. So you cut this corner, very corner on the left, as close without getting stuck as possible. Therefore you're gonna minimize the travel distance to long, and you can cross the pit or cross across long more safely. So what you want to do is just generally aim not on the divider here between this wall and that wall, but a little bit towards the right. So there's a little smudge here which I use as a reference. I always aim at it, and if I just press W right now, I'm not going to get stuck into this wall on my left here, and that is going to make sure that I'm leaving the spawn as early as possible. Okay, and then I'm gonna obviously move the mouse, and then I'm gonna cut this corner, which I don't have lineup for, but it's like more feeling. The first one is the lineup, so as I'm going to show you, if I aim a little bit towards left, oh, it still works, but if I aim a little bit more towards left, let's say on the wall divider here, you see how I got stuck there? So immediately I would lose like a couple of pixels, I would say, and then Oper on long could in theory catch me. But that is another point. If you ever have this spawn and you want to take long, you want to do it and you want to run like this, and you should never ever, oops, I got stuck there, ironically, you should never ever be afraid of Oper peeking you like here and killing you, because even if terrorists, they have the best spawn, which is this one, they're never going to catch you if you just run. So if Oper starts like this, you're already past this angle if you have the best spawn and you run with a knife and you run properly without losing any time and getting stuck around the corners like I did before. So if you run like this, no one is ever going to catch you, and you can run all the way to pit. It doesn't really matter. However, there's obviously one way. If they have AKs and they decide to run out, they can catch you like here. This is going to be like a meeting point where terrorist is here and you're like on this kind of perimeter and he can try to shoot you. That's when flashes from your teammates are going to actually make the most sense out for the team play, and so you can get safely into pit, right? So that is really easy, and I just wanted to know this, that if you're ever best spawn for T side long and you ever want to peek with an op, be careful, because CT Oper, if he spawned with the first spawn here, he is going to already be here, posted up on you, and all he has to do is press mouse 1 to kill you, because there's literally so like tight angle that it's really hard to miss. And only counter to this kind of play is that if you flash over and you force him to shoot anyway, and then you peek, right? You can flash over and he might as well like dodge it. Like this is another mind play that you can do, like something like this. But it's in general much riskier right now to just go for this peek, because CT can already hold you and you can die for free. That's why I, even in a high elo, I see these players are like, oh, drop me up, I'm just gonna peek long. And they're just gonna go like this towards long, obviously jump over that ledge that's going to make you faster. And they're gonna just take a peek here, and bam, they're dead, because CT is already crouching there with an op waiting for them to peek. And that is bad thing. You don't understand how it works. In CSGO it was different, in CS2 it's different again. So this is another tip. Okay, now let's talk about these boxes that got reintroduced. So with these boxes, you can obviously self-boost yourself to short, but there's a neat way to throw a smoke, which I'm going to show you. It's viable to do on any execute, but you're gonna get yourself stuck into this corner. You're gonna crouch and you're gonna aim. I'm gonna use hope here. You're gonna just aim at the top of this smudge here, like this, the very top, tippity top of it, and then you're going to uncrouch, and then you're just going to press mouse 1. The smoke is going to land on top of that little box there, and if you pair it up with the lurk smoke, which I'm just going to wing it right now for the sake of the showing, you can actually scale up a lot further with these smokes towards side. In CSGO, this was very popular, by the way, these kind of smokes, because you could see over them and it acted as a one-way. However, in here, I will show you what you can do that is a little bit overpowered in my opinion. So you can see how the smoke kind of cuts off at the edge here, so it gives you a lot of vision towards side if you ever wanted to fight these players. But then if Op is playing at the corner, you can actually like reveal the smoke by shots a little bit and see if the Op is actually there. It's going to be incredibly hard shot for him to hit, because he's going to expect you here, but not in the smoke, spamming the smoke, right? And another thing that I want to show is that the smoke actually, it goes all the way down into the CT, which gives you possibility, if you ever want, maybe with the lurk smoke, to jump down. And even if this one doesn't spread all the way to CT, you can use like jump through this smoke into the other smoke, and you're in CT completely invisible, right? Obviously you can surprise or fake A split into B split through this, because you're gonna just drop down and you cannot ever get shot from back from car, because this smoke on top of this box is going to cover your ass pretty well. Well, obviously I'm just gonna throw it properly. It's gonna cover your ass like this. It's gonna spread all the way down. You see? So there's if you just hug this wall here on the right, no one's ever going to see you. And also this smoke is possible to throw from outside long, which I found just recently, but I'm going to show you. I'm not sure how useful it is, but if you're a long player and you want to help your teammates with an execute and still lurk long or top middle, and your teammates don't have extra smoke, but you have one, you should always offer this one. So you're gonna stuck yourself into this corner, not this one, but this one. You're gonna crouch and you're gonna aim, again, I will use OP just for the sake of it, just at the divider here, between the smudge and the white wall, and just on the window frame. And it's, I believe, normal jump throw. Let's see. And it's just going to fly between these boxes. It's going to look like that. and this one also extends all the way to the bottom. It's a little bit higher, so you can't actually look over it like the previous one, but you can still apply the same method of clearing the op on the corner and trying to scale up to the side. And maybe you force Oper basically to hold these angles, which are much harder because it becomes suddenly headshotable because of these little, I don't know how to really call them. Let's call them drums. I know they're not drums, but you know what I mean. Okay, another little tip I see constantly, even on lower elo players like do wrong, is that the ledge on the Xbox is actually still there, and it's much bigger compared to CSGO. So in CSGO you could always jump up like on the top of the little thing here and then fast rotate back to short or retake from short fast, but the ledge here on this Xbox is actually much bigger, so you can jump all the way on the right here as well. I don't think you can do it in the middle. Actually, you can do it in the middle as well, and then you obviously can do it on the very left here. So what you can do, I will just enable my thing here, which is overlay for the keys, just for this one, and this is probably like the fastest way that you can rotate through the Xbox if you know that no one is middle. Obviously this one is there, so you kind of like, I will try to explain. So you will go on the ledge here, and then as you're jumping up on the actual Xbox, you're gonna start with a crouch jump, but you're gonna release crouch mid-air, and it will kind of latch you onto the Xbox immediately, so you can run again forward, and then you do the same thing when you're jumping over this ledge. It kind of, I managed to do it before. It requires a little bit of practice. You see now I didn't latch myself onto the top of the Xbox, but it was still pretty fast. Okay. There it was. There it was. It took me some tries, but this is how it looks. So I wanted you to see the press keybinds, what I do and how I do it with the timing. So I hope you liked it. Oh, and the last trick that I have for Dust 2 is actually denying the A plants with an HEs. So obviously you can drop HEs here into the spawn, which is probably the most useful place to have these HEs on. You can break a lot of smokes towards a long cross, you can break any B split smoke, you can maybe even try to throw nades towards middle when they're taking short, you can throw the nades when they're executing from short, and you can throw the nades like this, or you can throw this one, and this is super underrated. You don't break any of these, and you save these smokes to deny the bomb plant. Especially if they're going long, most likely people will plant either here or here, and occasionally they will do it here, but you know, they're exposed from short, so it's like very rare. It's super rare. People mostly gonna plant here or here if they're going from long. But from CT, there's a neat way to counter all this utility, and that was, I'm just gonna remind myself. So it's in this corner, and I believe it was, oh yeah, it was like this. So nades like this is actually countering both of the bomb plants by 50 damage. All you need is basically 2 HEs to kill both players. And this is the lineup for it. So you come into this corner, you have to get stuck a little bit here. This is kind of annoying, but you have to do it like that. And then you are going to, you see the tip of the roof here, the corner of it. You just go a little bit more up at, I don't know, this is kind of a feeling thing, but just a little bit up. And it will bounce on top of this box, and it will deal 50 damage to this terrorist, which I will place here, and then this terrorist, which I will place here. Maybe they will be like 1 HP after these nades, but still it should give you super good afterplan. So this one was actually 50 HP, 45 HP. So 2 nades, one guy is either dead or one guy is 1 HP. So this is super powerful, and it got me a lot of kills even in pro games. And in Faces, it's kind of like a cheat code how to stop any A plant. Obviously, you can do it with Molly as well if you have, but HEs are dealing that extra damage. So as soon as you... The good part about this is that you actually are so close to the bomb plant that you hear the tick when people start planting the bomb. And as soon as you hear that, you can, you know, load up yourself with an HEs, and you can just throw both of them like that. Okay, we're here on Ancient this time, and this is trick that I got sent from a friend from Rylop, so credit to him. But basically, you can spot a terrorist that is playing this position if you're ever in cave. And this is really weird mechanic, but I will try to explain to the best of my ability. So basically, if the player is there, you're gonna see his shadow from the cave, and the shadow is basically right here. This is usually, if no one is there, this is much lighter, and the sun actually shines on this part. So let me show you how it looks when I actually remove the bot, and I will remove him by the command. So this is how it looks when someone is there. And then when you remove the bot, you see how much lighter it got there. So if you're ever like maybe pushing cave and you're trying to clear, or maybe you have a smoke right here and you feel like it's safe, you can check for this shadow, and if you see it super bright, then no one is there and you don't need to spam. However, if someone is there, and I'm gonna place him again back, it's gonna become much darker, and then you can do yourself like a little spam and you probably will try to kill him, right? So I can actually show you, you see, so now he appears there, I'm gonna kill him, and it's super bright. He's gonna reappear now, and it got super dark again. So clearing position without actually seeing anyone there, it's kind of meh. I think this should be fixed, but up until then, I think there is no one stopping you from abusing this kind of shadow play advantages. And while we are here still in the cave, I want to show you another one that is really like kind of opposite way, ironically enough, but works completely differently. And this is again something that I found only recently, and I think it's super hilarious. So I will use the OP for the sake of it because it's going to be hard to see on the YouTube, but I recommend you guys to go on the actual empty server and you search for this gap yourself. So there's actually a gap here where you can see someone moving. I play on full HD, on full resolution, okay? So it's really easy for me to see inside of the cave here, and if someone would walk across that screen, I'm able to see that, because if no one would be there, I will try to kill him. If no one would be there, all I see is... Okay, I need to actually clear everything. All I would see there is actually the lamp. I will try to go into the gap so you can see what I see. I see actually this lamp that is super bright. So if someone walks across it, the lamp is gonna like basically disappear. And that's when I see that, all right, someone is actually going to push cave right now because I see him crossing. So this is free information. And the worst and craziest part about this is, this should be fixed by the way as well, but the worst part is that this is a one-way gap. So I see this gap, but there's no gap on the other side. There's no gap here. This is just a missing texture that you can abuse to, you know, gain extra information and be prepared for the fight. Similarly, this seems like a bug here, and you're gaining information about the player that is hugging this wall, but if you don't hug it, that shadow is not going to appear, and you're gonna be able to spot people walking across the gap. It's weird, I know. Don't blame me, blame the game. Alright, and last two tricks are for Vertigo, and both of them involve a molly. So this is something that is super powerful if you're a mid player, and you can help away both on B executes and A executes without leaving your position, and it allows you to lurk a little bit more and better. So actually I will make this like 2-in-1 again trick, so I will show you 4 mollies that are super important. So for A side, if you're in ladder, this is actually super useful. You're gonna line up yourself on the top of this railing here, and you're gonna look down and just line yourself up with the end of the cable right there, just so you can show it. Okay, that cable right there, something like that. And now from this position, you can actually throw 2 powerful mollies that will help your team to take control over A side or the ramp. So if your teammates don't have ramp yet and you want to retake it from CTs, you can throw this molly that you're just aiming at the edge of the door, and then you go up until the line, and you're just going to jump throw that one, and it will disallow any CTs that are playing aggressive here peeking down with an AWP, and obviously with the new spawns this is really annoying to deal with. They're going to be forced either back into the gap, which you're going to, by the way, hear that they burned and they're running away, or because you're so close, you know, you're just separating this wall from each other. And the other way is that this will force them into going out in the open, where it will be really easy for your teammates to kill them. Another molly that is super important is from the very same position, and instead of this one, you're gonna offer this one, and that one is for deep gap. Okay, it's like almost burning the main kind of, and this again gives you a lot of space which you can peek with, and it gets rid of these angles that are like pretty annoying here. And yeah, it's just super powerful molly that it will force CTs to make a decision, either play in front of it and there will be forced to play in the gap, which is again pretty easy to deal with a flash, or they will be forced to go all the way back, which again, you or your teammates who are already on ramp, they are going to hear it. So the best thing is that they are thrown from the same positions, so you can just communicate with your teammates which one they want to be thrown. And they're super easy as well. This one, I'm aiming at the line here. I see this little triangle here, and in the middle of this baseline right here. So this is how I'm going to throw it. So these are the two mollies that are going to be incredibly helpful for A side. But for B side, you obviously have this one. You probably saw this one in a lot of videos, and that is the window molly. But if you didn't see, I'm gonna show it to you. So you want to come into the door frame here, and then you're gonna line yourself up with the line on the ground here. Very easy. And then I see this middle brick on top, and I'm not aiming at the corner of it, but like a little bit into the brick, so to speak, and just a normal normal throw. You don't need to move at all, and it's gonna burn window perfectly. Not only that, it also deals with this really annoying position here. But there's another one, which is more, I don't know, I don't want to say secret, because my teammates actually showed this to me, but you can come here and hug this wall from this side instead. You don't need to be lined up completely precisely, and then you're gonna aim at this dot right here. So it's really easy to see the line that is dividing the wall in upper and lower half. So you see where it kind of like ends under the window, and you're just going to jump through this one. And this molly is actually so powerful that it burns on, it explodes on top of the AC, or whatever you call it, ELEC, and it burns all the way behind it. So you can pair it up with the mollies on B-side execute, right? So you can molly all the positions that are like default, pillar, and then you throw this one, and CDs actually have nowhere to stand. Either they will be super in the open and between the mollies, again, vulnerable, super vulnerable to the flashes, and the best part is, even if they are, they're going to panic, and they're probably running into your molly, which is so new to the meta that people usually, of course, they use the smokes here, right? They like to play here because they feel safe during the execute. They can spam through the smokes, but now suddenly the smokes are not there at all, and there is a molly that is landing on the top of the AC unit, and it spreads so annoyingly that there's literally no place for you to play around or hide. And if you pair it up with a smoke that is a little bit deeper, for example, that's going to cause a lot of problems for CTs. And this molly actually got me a kill in official game against Koi, so I'm gonna link up the moment of the game for that. And it was pretty much the easiest kill of my life. I didn't do anything, I just threw the molly and I got a kill. So that's nice, and you can do the same in your Face-It games, in your maybe team games, whatever you play. So
50 or lower rounds, only playing the percentages. So this time again, Monte probing that B site, and they want it again. It's going to be another fast-paced play. molotovs again is caught out in no man's land, just does very well backside to get himself a double.
Good luck with that. Again, the lineup is really easy. You just come here, hugging the corner of the wall, and then you're just going to jump throw, normal jump throw. Okay, so that was the last tip that I think of. I don't think I forgot anything. Obviously, I will try to do more of these, but it takes time to collect something that you don't see every other week on other YouTubers' channels, and Nardout here obviously is doing a great job of collecting a lot of nades. So I'm trying to do something more unique that I don't see on his channel. So hopefully you're gonna use it well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.